Have you ever paused to reflect on something that happened? Something you said, something you did, a choice that you made, and almost immediately found yourself judging it, replaying it, questioning it, and running through a mental checklist of everything you did wrong and everything you could have done differently? There's an art to seeing yourself clearly, and most of us were never taught it. We were taught how to evaluate ourselves, judge ourselves, compare ourselves, improve ourselves, but not how to simply notice ourselves with honesty, curiosity, and compassion. And that's where this work begins. Hey, it's Kelly G, your Radiance coach. Welcome to the Embodied Radiance podcast, episode number 5. Back in episode 3, we talked about witness consciousness, the part of us that can see our thoughts without being swept away by them. And I introduced wait as the tool that wakes that witness up. Today, we're going to take that one step further, because once we can see what our mind is doing, the real question is, can we see it without immediately turning it into a problem and using it against ourselves? Today, we're beginning something I'm really excited to share with you. Over the next 4 episodes, we're going on a journey together. It's what I'm calling the Radiant Compassion process. It's a 4-part framework for returning to yourself by meeting yourself with compassion instead of criticism. We'll move through 4 steps and they build on each other. First, we're going to learn how to see ourselves clearly, then understand how we got here, then release what we've been carrying, and finally choose who we want to be now. Today is step 1, and it sets the foundation for all the rest. It's called compassionate awareness. Most of us were never taught to look at ourselves with curiosity. We were taught to evaluate ourselves, to measure, assess, and judge against a standard that was handed to us by the world around us before we were old enough to question it. And here's the tricky part. That standard is really vague. It shifts. It's never quite clearly defined for us. We just know what we feel like when we assume we've fallen short of it, which may be a lot of the time. So we end up running a constant internal audit against a moving target, and we can never really win. That is not self-awareness. That's programmed self-surveillance dressed up as self-improvement. When we look at ourselves only through the lens of evaluation, of right or wrong, we don't actually see ourselves clearly. We see a verdict. And when everything we find becomes evidence for or against us, we stop being curious. We stop learning. We stop growing because we're too busy defending or prosecuting. Compassionate awareness is the ability to see ourselves clearly without weaponizing what we find. This isn't bypassing what's there or pretending that everything's fine. It's stepping into that neutral witness perspective, seeing clearly, and staying curious long enough to actually understand what we're seeing before assigning any meaning to it. Self-judgment sees and immediately evaluates. Compassionate awareness sees and stays curious. Compassionate awareness can look like noticing your chest tighten when someone disappoints you, noticing your jaw clench when you feel criticized, noticing the urge to explain yourself, prove yourself, or make yourself smaller. Maybe it's even noticing the familiar roles you step into of the fixer or the peacekeeper, the overfunctioner, or the one who always holds it together. The practice isn't to judge what you find, it's to stay with it long enough to see it clearly. The difference is in what you do with it the moment you find it. It's resisting the urge to make it mean something about you based on that vague standard. Think about how you would respond if a good friend came to you and expressed all of her doubts and thoughts about how she could have done things differently in a situation. Would you immediately start to cross-examine her pain or collect evidence against her? Would you build a case for why she should have known better? Of course not. You would listen. You would see her clearly and stay with her in it. Compassionate awareness is learning to be that friend to yourself. In yoga philosophy, svadhyaya is the practice of self-study, turning the lens of awareness inward with honesty and curiosity in order to remember who we really are. Compassionate awareness is svadhyaya in its most essential form, seeing clearly without self-attack, studying ourselves in the way that a wise and loving teacher would, with genuine interest and without an agenda. This is also where the witness consciousness does her deepest work. The witness isn't just watching thoughts. She's watching us watch ourselves. She's the part of us that notices the moment curiosity turns into criticism, when we've moved from seeing to prosecuting. And the moment we notice that shift, that's compassionate awareness in action. We don't have to be perfect at this. We just have to be willing to notice. Now, here's what I know from years of working with my own brain and with other people. You cannot change what you cannot see. And you cannot truly see what you are constantly evaluating. The judgment gets in the way of the clarity. And it also gets in the way of the permission to be human too. Compassionate awareness creates the conditions for real change. Not because it's soft or easy or let things slide, but because it's honest. When we can see ourselves clearly without the noise of self-criticism, we finally have accurate information. And accurate information is where choice begins. So I want to share a practice that I use with myself, and it is incredibly simple. But don't let that fool you. It really does work. The next time your mind offers you a thought that could be a judgment, comparison, criticism, maybe about something you did or something you said or something you are, I want you to try adding these few words to the end of it. And that's okay. I'm really struggling right now, and that's okay. I don't have this figured out yet, and that's okay. I got triggered and reacted in a way that I am not proud of, and that's okay. Notice what happens when you add those words, not as a bypass, not pretending that it doesn't matter, but as a moment of permission to see without immediately prosecuting. That's compassionate awareness. That's the witness at work. Okay, so let's try it right now. Think of one thing that you've experienced today or recently that your mind has a judgment about. Go ahead and say it out loud or in your head and add, and that's okay. Just notice what shifts in your body. Maybe your shoulders soften. Maybe your breath deepens just a little bit. Or maybe you feel resistance. Maybe nothing shifts at all. And that's okay too. And if adding, and that's okay, feels hard at first, try asking yourself, what would I say to a friend who just told me this? And just start there. That's your compassionate awareness voice. She already knows what to do. So this is the beginning, not fixing, not changing, not improving, just seeing clearly and kindly, because nothing real can grow from a foundation of self-attack, but so much can grow from honest, compassionate self-awareness. That's svadhyaya. That's the witness. That's compassionate awareness. And that's you finally on your own side. So until next time, I invite you to practice being your own friend, seeing yourself clearly, and being kind about what you find. And let your life shine.